Why can't I stop even when I'm full? If you've been trying to make peace with food in your body and still can't figure it out, then this video is for you. Because hi, it's Mia. I have my spatula mic back. This is one of the most misunderstood topics with intuitive eating. This time of the year can feel especially challenging with stopping when you're full, because now you're trying to make peace with food, but it's also the holiday season and there's so many more opportunities for social gatherings, holiday parties, family gatherings, and you find yourself among all of this yummy food and you just can't stop eating. So we're going to talk about really practically what are the 3 reasons why this might be happening and what you can do about it. The first reason we need to talk about is you might be still eating from a trauma response from your past years of dieting. Depending on how long it's been that you've actually stopped dieting could make a difference here. Because what happens when you are on diets is that you're dismissing your body from getting enough fuel. When you're counting calories, when you're restricting, when you're counting macros, when you're eating at set times. So what I see happen so often is that once you're off the diet, then it's like this pendulum swinging to the other side from restricting to binging. And depending on how long it's been that you've stopped dieting, that you stopped restricting, you know that the diet is over, but your body might not know yet that the restriction is truly over. Your body may not trust you yet. It's being hypervigilant. Dieting is a trauma to your body. The definition of trauma is any adverse experience that creates lasting physical, emotional, mental damage. And diets do exactly that. Diets deny your body of one of the key essential things that is required, literally required for your survival, and that's to get food. And when it doesn't get enough food, when it doesn't get enough fuel, your body automatically goes into this. It's like having the siren on that it's like, uh-oh, we're in this danger zone. We got to be hyper vigilant about food because we don't know when the next food is coming in. So that's kind of the emergency survival state that you put your body in when you're dieting. And so even when you come out of the diet, your body doesn't know that this emergency state is done. And when it doesn't know that, it's going to still be hyperfixated on food. It's going to think about food. It's going to try to maximize the amount of food that it eats. And that's why even if you feel like you are physically full, you're like, oh, but I got to keep eating. And that can be a trauma response from the body from trying to be hypervigilant about not going into another deprivation, another period where it's short on fuel. And this might be happening either consciously or subconsciously for you. One of my clients knew that this was happening to her, and she even told me that she said, I am getting super full on purpose. And she said it was because getting super full felt safe to her. It was because while all the time that she was on diets, she was always this anxious, like on the edge, she was always hungry, she was always thinking about food. And now that the diet was actually over, she went to that other swing. The only time that she felt she could actually relax a little bit and calm down was when she felt that super fullness. And so she purposely ate until she was stuffed, even though it didn't feel good to her body physically, but there was this emotional safety that came from being super full. And that is actually a trauma response because your body doesn't trust you yet that this emergency state is over. So it's going to want to maximize how much it gets to eat. And what needs to happen in this case is that you need to assure your body by eating regularly throughout the day that, hey, the fuel is coming in. Whenever you need food, it's here. You can relax. You don't have to be so hypervigilant around it. And another way you can look at this is to really be compassionate towards your body and even thank your body. Say, thank you for looking out for me. I know you're trying to protect me, because that's exactly what your body is trying to do. It's trying to protect you from another starvation period, because your body cannot tell the difference between a voluntary diet and a forced famine. But once your body can really feel that, okay, we're out of the danger zone, we can relax a little bit, then you may not have to get to that level of uncomfortable fullness to feel relaxed. And healing this diet trauma response is one of the things that I support clients through in the beginning of our work together, because unless the nervous system can calm down, we can't do the deeper emotional work to really heal the deeper layers of making peace with food and with your body. It has to start with resolving the trauma response, to get back on the same team with your body, to help your body relax around food. So the first reason that we just talked about stems from the physical deprivation. The second reason we're going to talk about now is from the emotional deprivation. If you have been on many diets over the years, if you have gone through a long period of restriction of having off-limit foods, and now you're trying to give yourself permission to eat all foods and make peace with foods, you might still have this emotional charge around certain foods. In my last video, I talked about how you can go from diet land to donut land, which is the place where you feel like you want to eat donuts and the off-limit foods all the time. But you have to kind of be in that donut land a little bit before getting to this place of discernment, which is when you can relax a little bit. You don't have the emotional charge. But right now, if you still have emotional charge around certain foods, it's going to feel it's hard to stop. Because what kicks in is the emotional urgency, the Last Supper mentality. It's like, this food is so exciting. We don't know when we're going to get to have this food again. So let's eat as much as possible right now. And that can be a reason why you notice your fullness, but it's still hard to stop because of that emotional excitement around this food. Because let me ask you a question. Think about a food that you don't feel strong emotional charge around. Can you think of a food where sometimes you want it, but sometimes you don't, but you don't want it all the time? That's a food that you're probably emotionally neutral around. For a lot of people, that might be something like chicken breast or spinach or a banana. I mean, banana maybe not, because some people even restricted fruit and bananas. So maybe that's not a good example, but I think a lot of us can agree on any type of vegetables or protein foods might not be a highly emotional charged food unless you've restricted all foods and all foods feel emotional to you. So that's a whole other layer, and that might be true too. If you feel emotionally charged around all foods and you just feel like you're obsessed with all kinds of foods, then this still applies to you. But for a lot of people who spent lots of years in dieting, it might be particular types of foods that you don't yet feel emotionally neutral around. And so that is a reason why you go into this overdrive of wanting to eat the whole box of Krispy Kreme donuts instead of being satisfied with one or two and being able to move on. So what needs to happen in this case is you have to give yourself permission to eat the foods that you actually want at the times that you want it. And when you do that often enough, then it's going to be so much easier to find that point where you feel comfortably full and also mentally satisfied from just a few cookies, one or two donuts, or a few slices of pizza, and you're not going to go into that overdrive of eating until you're uncomfortably full. So the first one was about physical deprivation. The second reason was around emotional deprivation. And the third reason is a little bit different. The third reason why it's hard for you to stop eating when you're full could be because your body is telling you that it's full, but you're not getting the message. It's like the signals are there, but you can't feel that signal because you're so detached from your body, you're so dissociated from your body. A lot of people tell me, especially after years of dieting, after years of following rules, that they're so used to not feeling their body, not even asking their body if they're hungry or if they're full. They just followed the rules. They never had to ask their body. So now, as they try to make peace with food and with their body, trying to connect with that fullness is not so easy. And so it could be that you're just still not used to feeling your body. Maybe you eat very distracted. Maybe you are always on autopilot. And if that's the case, it could be that your body is sending you those fullness signals and fullness hormones, but you're just not feeling it until you get to that point of, ooh, I need to unbutton my pants kind of fullness. If that is the only level of fullness that you recognize and you never feel those more subtle levels of fullness, then this could be you. And so what needs to happen in this case is that you have to be intentional about checking in with your body while you eat so that you can ask yourself this question and say, how do I feel now? Am I starting to feel a little full? Do I still want to eat more? And maybe the answer is yes. And then you eat some more and then check in with your body again. How about now? When you do this, you'll start to notice different levels of fullness. This will not be the same for everyone, but for most people, there will be at least a few different levels. And when you can start recognizing those more subtle levels of fullness, and you can also assure your body that, okay, we're gonna get food again when you need it. We don't need to eat it all now. When those factors are combined, then you're going to be able to get to that state of recognizing the fullness and actually responding to that fullness by letting go of food. And know that even if it's really hard for you right now, the more you do it, the more you practice it, you are going to get better at it. As you build back the trust with your body and your body starts to relax around food more too, it's going to create like a positive feedback loop where it gets easier and easier. And this is exactly the beauty of intuitive eating. Intuitive eating is not about following a certain set of rules or listening to anyone else outside of you, but it's all about rebuilding the connection and rebuilding the trust with your own body so that your body gets to guide you when to eat, how much to eat, and when it's full and you can let the food go for now. This fullness factor is only one of the 10 intuitive eating principles. In my free series, the 10 Days of Compassionate Intuitive Eating series, I'm going over each of the intuitive eating principles. If you sign up from the link below, you'll get access to all the recorded audio lessons that can help you understand each of the intuitive eating principles better so that you can build a better connection with your body, build back that trust with your body, and start to let your body guide you. If you feel like one of these or all three of these apply to you, but you're not sure which steps to take and you would like to get more personalized support, I'd love to talk to you. If you wanted to explore working with me through my one-on-one coaching program, I also have my new group cohort that's going to begin in the middle of January. And that's going to be such an exciting cohort because it's going to be the new year. It's when diet culture is ramped up and everyone else is going to be talking about their weight loss journey and the new diets. And there might be a lot of triggering moments, but not for you. Being in a group community with people who get it can be so, so valuable because you're doing the work together, healing together. You're in a community who gets you. So if you're interested in learning about any of these programs, then check out the description box and make sure to check out the playlist on intuitive eating that I have.